Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your day. And we'll say hello to a few friends here as we get started today. And let me see, who's coming up number one? Guess who? Brahim, how are you, my dear friend from Portland, Oregon? Good morning to you. John, how are you? And Janice from Brampton, good morning. And Brahim is saying he's having his coffee. Yeah, well, me too. Fran, Orangeville Nativity, good morning to you. And Annette, nice to see you. Kevin from Oshawa. Grace, how are you from the Rock, Newfoundland. Linda, St. Jude, Quebec. Nellie, good morning. Wendy from Markham, good morning. Arlene, how are you? Nick from our staff, good morning. And Gertie, how are you? And Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia, how are you? Jeanette, Maria, Ottawa, Nancy, Gore's Landing. Donna from Park Hill. Jeanette from our staff, good morning. Faye, how are you? Maureen, Boca Raton, Florida, how are you? Carol, Judy is having her first coffee. Fran from Tilsonburg. And Marlis, Beau Séjour, Manitoba. Kathy, Port Perry. Jeanette, how are you? Donna from Newfoundland. And I missed that one. It went past me. Patricia. Lisa Marie, good morning. Rosalinda. Right up in the clouds, Rosalinda. And who was having bacon? Donna, how are you? Joan from Blind River, Marianne, London. Dave from Gilmore. I missed the Sandy, says Sandy. Another Donna. We love those Donnas. And Sue, how are you? I know I missed, guys. Another Sue, how are you? Patricia, good morning to you. Margaret from Lakelet. And Judy from New Brunswick. Dave from Muskoka. And John, how are you from Lefroy? Louise, how are you? Deb, I'm sorry to miss you, Deb and Timmons. Jude. Heather. And Barbara. Guys, if I miss you, believe you me. And Sherry's telling me she's having bacon. Who's that from Richmond Hill? Cecilia. Nancy. And Diane, Thunder Bay. Okay, Karen, Little Britain. And Lynn Marie, how are you? And Helga, I missed you, Helga, I didn't mean to. Bev and Rosa, saying hello to everyone. Krista, Quebec City, well, hello, Krista. Mary, New Brunswick. Rita, good morning. Okay, now, wait. Somebody asked me the other day, and I get asked this all the time, but I think it's a good time. Let's go over this, okay? And I just want to break down high blood pressure, okay? Look, all of us, I can't even think of a doctor that I could think of that wouldn't agree that high blood pressure is dangerous. It's not good for you. Now, we've discussed this in the past. You know, the numbers have changed, okay? And 100 years ago, like, what is considered high blood pressure today? Like, anything over 130 over 90 is considered high blood pressure, okay? I don't know. Anyway, the numbers I learned in the 70s compared to where we are today, What's changed? Well, look, the pharmaceutical companies do some big and great things. They really do. Okay. But I think I think people are on meds when they don't necessarily have to be on meds. They can, because in a doctor's mind, most doctors, they don't equate food with blood pressure. Other than it's salt. Like, I'll tell you, if you did a survey of 100 physicians, God bless them, 95 would tell you salt is a big factor in high blood pressure. And I disagree with that almost entirely. Salt is involved, but it's not the bad guy. It's not the bad guy. So I want to talk to you this morning, okay, how insulin resistance. Now we all know you only use insulin when you eat. If you don't eat, you don't need insulin. If you eat the right things, you need very little insulin. Okay? And it all has to do with what is fueling your body. We weren't meant to live on sugar, crappy carbs, processed food. We weren't meant to live on that. Our digestive tract, as I teach you folks all the time, was never designed for that. Your digestive tract was designed to generally eat eggs, meat, and cheese. Now, you can add some fruits and vegetables, but you're never to live on fruits and vegetables. Because your GI, your gastrointestinal tract, was never designed for that. You're not a cow, you don't have 4 stomachs, and you're not a squirrel to live on nuts, and you're not a rabbit. You don't even have the enzymes that a rabbit has to live on plants. You're not supposed to. And I know that's all, it's taken as the gospel truth today that, when you build the pyramid, the food pyramid done by the food industry, who hoodwinked and educated the dietitians of the world, you'll have grains and fruits and vegetables as being your best foods in the world. Well, they're completely wrong. Completely wrong. Because you weren't designed for it. Your stomach acidity wasn't designed to live on plants. It was designed to live on the animal kingdom. And that should be enough, you would think, that's it. We'll change the narrative forever. Nah, it's not going to happen. Because there's too much power. And people get this idea. Okay? Now, back to blood pressure. Very important. Very important. If you even have slightly elevated blood pressure, it's a sign that you're on the Titanic because you have metabolic syndrome. Metabolically, you're not well. But I'm telling you, it's food. It's not salt, though. It's sugar. 25 pounds in the 1950s on average, 50 pounds in the 1970s, on average. And now a dump truck load, 200 pounds, close to it. And your body would never design for that. And that's why we see, it's one of the biggest reasons that heart disease, we haven't made a dent in it. Imagine the biggest killer, chronic disease, is heart disease. Still number one. And they tell you the opposite. Well, if cholesterol is at the cause of heart disease, we ought to cut out animal foods because that's where you find cholesterol. Cut them down to nothing. You don't need them. They're bad. They're acidic. They destroy your body. They'll give you colon cancer. They'll give you a heart attack. And imagine being 100% wrong on that. And the proof in the pudding is, here we are today, and we have more heart disease than ever. They're blamed the wrong food. Okay. Now, let's look at it. Okay? What happens? What happens? Okay? When you have a condition called insulin resistance. Okay? Let me use the analogy again. Insulin comes knocking at the cell's door far too often, and the cells, insulin becomes a bad neighbor, always coming, hey, can I come over and have a coffee? No! You're bugging me, right? I don't know. Have you ever had a neighbor like that? So what happens at the cellular level when people are a carbaholic? They're carbaholics. The cells go, get out of here. I can't stand you. But insulin has a job to do. It's a traffic cop. It's a parking cop. And if sugar is in the bloodstream, okay, other than the little eensy weensy, what was that song? Yellow dot bikini. Wasn't that it? I don't know. Your body will not allow you to have more than like a teaspoon or even a half a teaspoon of sugar in your bloodstream at any time. So what insulin does, insulin is the traffic cop. When it sees sugar going up, it blows the whistle and says, you can't park there. Come with me. And then it parks it, either in your muscles, and most people, one of the biggest problems in our society today is they have sarcopenia. They don't have enough muscle, and that's the worst thing that can happen because you got no parking space for that glucose that's going to be stored as glycogen. Glycogen, fat. It's going to be stored. But if you have room in your muscles, that's a good thing. Because if you don't have any room in your muscles, it goes to your liver. and it'll gum up your liver big time with fat. Okay? Guys, the cells say, hey, insulin, get out of here. I can't stand you. But insulin goes, I'm sorry. You might not like me, but I got a job to do. Okay? And with people, the rest is history. That's what happens. Now, okay? I know I repeat this all the time, but I gotta. In my own mind, I gotta repeat it. Okay? Now remember something. Remember something. On this program every day, we got a lot of new listeners. Okay? So I gotta repeat. I want them to catch up to what you guys, I don't want them to eat ketchup, by the way. I want them to catch up, okay, with us, okay? I want them to understand that you got a pancreas, it secretes insulin, and 93% of the population in North America have a condition called insulin resistance. Why? It's all about food. It's all about having made all the wrong choices and believing the lies out there that cholesterol causes heart disease. And, you know, I don't eat butter. I eat margarine. Yeah, well, that's not too smart. Because they think fat makes them fat and fat gives them cholesterol. And that's what causes heart disease. And even today, here we are in 2024, and mainstream media, mainstream pharma, mainstream doctors, mainstream anything, that's what they still believe. Imagine getting it completely wrong. Okay? Okay, so now, what does insulin resistance have to do with high blood pressure? Okay? Well, I'm going to show you how it had a lot to do with it. Okay? It's insulin resistance is the low-hanging fruit to high blood pressure. I've proven this to, I'm going to say 10,000, but probably much more than that. People who have done the metabolic reset, and by the way, can I just say this, okay? Because I get asked this all the time. Where's my book? Okay. Let me show you. Okay. See this book here, Sun, Steak, and Steel? Got it? Okay? Because people are saying, Dr. Martin, now this is in digital form. Okay? So let me bring my metabolic reset. Okay? This book is out of print, okay? The Metabolic Reset, it's out of print. But you can get a digital copy. But I always tell people, listen, I know how popular this book was, okay? I know how popular. #1 bestseller, The Metabolic Reset, okay? I know that. I knew that when I was writing this book. Sun, Steak, and Steel, and Sleep. Okay? But if you'll notice, that little gold, okay, includes the 30-day metabolic reset. Okay? So what I did, I answer every question about the metabolic reset that I could think of, that I've been asked. And I put it in the new book, Sun, Steak, and Steel. And by the way, wouldn't that make a great Christmas gift to your friends and family? I don't want to toot my horn, but I will. Okay, I'm tooting it. Toot! Okay, toot, toot! Okay, listen. Even there's a chapter in here, not only on the metabolic reset. I answer every question you can think of. Why the 30-day metabolic reset will change your life, will lower your blood pressure. I give you the answer in there. It's the best thing you can do to avoid heart disease. It's the best thing you can do to avoid cancer. It's the best thing you can do to avoid diabetes. It's the best thing you can do to lower your risk of dementia, Alzheimer's. It's the best thing to do if you have autoimmune disorder. Okay? I explain all that in the reset. And I have a chapter in there on what blood test I want you to get with your doctor. Make sure you get them, and then I show you how to interpret them in an easy way to understand. Because I'm a simple person. I'm not complicated. Well, no. I'm not. Okay? What you see is what you get with me. Okay? I got a loud voice. My son says I have a built-in microphone in my throat. I don't know if it was because we had 11 kids in our family and we were all loud. I guess just to be heard. Okay? My sisters are even loud. We love it. You don't want to get together with we call ourselves the Martians, not the Martins, the Martians, okay? Because one of my brother-in-laws told me once, you guys are from another planet. Like, you're all crazy. I thought that was hilarious. Okay, so in the reset, the metabolic reset, right here, it's in this book. So people are asking, I want to get the metabolic reset book. Well, you can. In a digital form. We're not printing it anymore because we're printing this. And we're into our second printing. You know what that means? Number one, selling book on health in Canada. So my American friends, get a Canadian book. Okay? Because it talks the truth. But it tells you 8 tests that I want you to get. And that I want you to look and see what happens, especially if you do that 30-day program. And what I emphasize in there is physiology, okay? But now he's getting complicated. No, it's just how does this thing work? How does it help my blood pressure? How can food help my blood pressure? Okay? Now, here we go. Okay? This is in the book, by the way. But I want to go over it because I get asked all the time, and I don't blame you. High blood pressure, I don't want you to have high blood pressure. But your diet has a lot to do with it, and it ain't salt. It ain't. Okay? It just ain't. It's not salt. Salt, look, salt's involved, but it's not the problem. Okay? When you lower your carbs, those crappy carbohydrates, bread, pasta, rice, cereals, sugar, sweets, pastries, muffins, bagels, store-bought milk, any juice. Don't juice. You're elevating your blood pressure. Don't juice. You want an orange? Eat it. Don't drink it. No, Dr. Martin, it's Tropicana. I don't care. And I mean that. It's going directly to your liver. You're spiking up your blood sugar. Your insulin's going to come knocking. Knock, 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 knock. Sell. Ah, ha, 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 ha. You can't park. Sugar, you can't park in the blood. I got to move you. I got to move you. Okay, so what happens when you have insulin resistance? Number one, okay? Doesn't matter what order. It really doesn't, because they all come into play when it comes to your blood pressure. Number one, you lower your nitric oxide. You have insulin resistance. You have low levels of nitric oxide. What is nitric oxide? Explosion. Think of nitroglycerin. We didn't even know. When I was in school, true story, we didn't even know nitric oxide even existed. It wasn't until the 1980s. Remember, I was born in the days of Noah. It wasn't until the 1980s that we even knew we had nitric oxide. A molecule that opens up your blood vessels. It does other things too. But nitric oxide, look, in the 70s, I knew that they gave you nitroglycerin. If you had angina, you were given nitroglycerin. Why? Relaxed the blood vessels. Because angina is constriction of the blood vessels around your heart. They go into a spasm. Well, they would give nitroglycerin, and it released that spasm because it opened up the blood vessels. You got more blood supply to the heart, and your angina would go away. You see, nitric oxide is very, very, very important. It's one of the reasons I love Navitol so much. Nitric oxide is elevated. 1. Okay? That's really important. Understand that. So when you lower your insulin resistance, and you do that by changing your fuel, change the foods that you eat, make it primarily from the animal kingdom. If you do that, you don't need a lot of insulin. I'm not saying you can't ever have carbs. I'm not saying that. For 30 days, eliminate them. Let your body change inside. And then you can have fruits and vegetables. But like I say, don't live on them. You're not meant to. I don't care what anybody says. They're wrong. Your body wasn't designed for that. Your body was designed for the animal kingdom. Okay. Primarily. Now, okay? What was that? Number 1, nitric oxide. Numero duo. 2. Number 2. Okay? You want to reduce blood pressure? Okay? You want to reduce salt? Okay? No, wait a minute. Retention. Okay? It's not salt that you're eating. It's salt that you're retaining. When you have insulin resistance, you retain salt. That affects the kidneys, and that can lead to high blood pressure. And doctors, God bless them, They want you to restrict salt in your diet. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Your body is retaining salt at the kidney level. Sugar makes the kidneys retain salt. Blood pressure up. Blood pressure up. So that's 2. Okay? That's 2. Thirdly, okay? So it ain't salt, it's sugar. Okay? Low nitric oxide, retention of salt at the kidney level. 3, okay, is constriction of your blood vessels when you have insulin resistance. They constrict. That's important that you understand that. It's called your sympathetic nervous system. You have insulin resistance, constricts your blood vessels. High blood pressure. Okay? And fourthly, you get an inflammation response. Okay? So, crappy eater, carb-loaded foods. Your body, okay, because of that, insulin goes up. When insulin goes up, okay, and over a period of time, the body reacts to that by creating an inflammatory response, okay? Now, inflammation's on your side if you have a fever. Inflammation is on your side if you just got injured. But inflammation is not on your side when it becomes chronic, because chronic inflammation, low grade, will destroy your blood vessels. It damages the little epithelial, okay, endothelial layer, your Teflon layer of your blood vessels. It gets damaged. Not cholesterol. Inflammation. Because you're eating the wrong foods. You see, you know what steak does? Steak lowers your inflammation. Yeah. The exact opposite of what you've been taught. Dr. Merton, I got arthritis. My doctor told me not to eat steak. I said, well, you should have gone to your plumber. You would have got better advice. I was told not to eat too many eggs. You should have gone to your plumber. You got better advice when it comes to nutrition. I'm sorry, but that's true. Imagine being in the medical field and you don't take any nutrition. Like, I didn't take any nutrition in medical school. Are you? What? Food doesn't mean anything? What? I get a migraine, guys. I get a migraine. Okay. You want to lower your blood pressure? Lower your carbohydrates. Do the metabolic reset. Read the book, Sun, Steak, and Steel. It'll change your life. It'll change your life. And I'll tell you, I'll put that eating program up against Eddie, and it's 30 days. It'll change your life for 30 days. You know what? One thing, your body will understand what real fuel is. And your body, your brain will go, I can't believe that you just gave me rocket fuel. In my brain. Wow. Okay. I get excited, guys. No, I'm not sorry. It's who I am. I'm passionate about it. Look, you can't change everything, but you can change the way you eat. You can. You can form a habit. A good one. You can. You can do it. I know. There's tens of thousands of you out there. Before the morning is out, even here on Facebook, this will be shared and watched at least 10,000 times. Okay? And our podcast, The Doctor is In. We're almost at 5 million downloads. You know what? People are interested in their health. And they've been lied to. I can't stand it when people lie to me. Okay? You can disagree with me, but don't lie to me. Okay, guys. Okay, I just got elevated blood pressure. Okay, now I've got to let it calm down. Okay. Guys, we love you so much, you have no idea. Okay, thank you for watching. Friday is question and answer Friday. info@martinclinic.com. Send your questions in. Okay? Send your questions in. We love your questions. Okay. Talk to you soon.